Hello and welcome to my podcast, Creative Full Time, where I interview Canadian creatives and how they're doing the damn thing here in Canada. Today's guest discovered his passion for the arts in high school when he directed a play that went on to win many awards. And then he went to Humber College for acting for film and television program and did some acting years after that, but ultimately took a 10-year break just to take care of his mental health and personal stuff. And now he's back within the last 2 years, and already he's been a Monologue Slam finalist. He's been a principal role in a feature film, and he's in a short film that's making its festival rounds right now, and he's well on his way to making his mark in this industry. Please welcome today's guest, John Camacho.
Thank you. That was a great introduction.
Thank you.
Thank you for making me sound good.
It's all you. It's all you. You did the work.
Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. So I like to start at the beginning. And so the play that you did in high school, did you want to be involved in that, or were you forced into doing that?
No, it was actually my idea.
Oh, really?
Me and a close friend of mine who wrote the play, we had been discussing it like over the summer leading up to us doing it, and it was definitely not something that was forced upon us. It was something that we had been in drama club for like the previous like couple of years. We did a production of Death of a Salesman. We did this other play, 7 Stories. So leading up to that, we're like, you know what, we want to go to the Sears Drama Festival. We think we could make something really good. So we decided, like over the course of summer, we're going to write a play. I'm going to direct it, he's going to write it. We're both going to star. I originally didn't actually want to act in it. I just wanted to direct, but then the actor who was supposed to, who I took over the role for, dropped out because he was irresponsible and like kind of a dickhead.
I
love you, Aline. Love you. So I took over his role, and we ended up making it to the Sears Drama Festival. He won an award for best writing because he was also like a poet as well, and his poetry was very good and like applied perfectly to his character. And we won some other technical awards, and it was just, it was a overall great experience.
That's wicked. Yeah. That's awesome. Good for you guys. In high school, I wasn't doing anything.
Well, believe me, it was like pulling teeth to get people to show up to rehearsal, especially my writer friend, because, we were all giant potheads at the time. So getting a pothead to do anything on time is a huge monumental task. So, it was great. Yeah. I'm getting so nostalgic for it. It was a great time.
Nice, that's amazing. I love that. I love that you guys did that in high school. I thought it was like a play that your school put on and you were forced to be director or something, but the fact that you guys like initiated and did it, that's amazing. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it was because we had gone to the Sears Drama Festival before, at least I had. And I was like, if we put something on, if we write something, if we create something, I think we have a great chance to like go all the way. Of course, that was me being overconfident because we didn't make it back to the next round. We love the overconfidence.
But yeah, we just we were confident. We thought we could make something great, and I think we did.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love that. And then after school, you went to Humber for acting for film and television.
Yeah.
Nice. Would you, if you had to go back and do it again, would you go to school for acting?
100%.
Nice.
100%. So it was a 2-year program. All of the teachers there were working actors. So, they had a lot of connections in the industry. They taught us first and foremost about professionalism, which, is a thing that I don't feel like a lot of young actors are really taught, like when they first get started, like being on time, knowing your lines, just things you would think are like basic common sense.
Right.
But, having been on the other side of the auditioning table, it's actually not that common. You'd be surprised when you're sitting on the other side of the, for example, I was reading for this one short film I was helping on, that I was actually a lead in. And a lot of actors come in not knowing their lines, looking down at the script the whole time. A lot of them don't even show up on time. And it's just like, these are just basic things of professionalism that you need to know to, have a good reputation, to have any sort of like success in this industry. And that was one of the main things that we learned at Humber, is how to be a good professional and how to be someone that others want to work with. And we'll think about you in the future the next time another project comes up.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, in terms of would I go back to acting school? I mean, absolutely. Like, I learned so much about the film industry. I learned so much about different acting styles. A little bit too much about different acting styles, so much that each teacher kind of had their own methods, and we're trying to, like, I don't want to say force it down our throats, but force it down our throats. And so you kind of had to decide which, approach worked best for you, and then just kind of stick to that. So it was a little bit confusing in that sense, but yeah, I wouldn't have traded that experience for anything. I've made like friends that are still friends with me to this day. So yeah, it was a great experience.
Nice, that's awesome. And do you take classes now as well, or have you since taken acting classes in the city? Yeah,
I've taken classes, with Jane Moffat, who does like method acting. I've gone to LB Acting Studio like a few years ago. Right now, I'm going to Raw Actor Studio. I'm in a class there right now. And Raw is probably one of the best like classes that I've taken like throughout my career.
Nice.
And has really, I feel like, helped me up my level of acting and how I approach things, and given me like a repeatable, what's the word I'm looking for, system to implement to my approach for whatever part I get. So shout out to Grisha, you're welcome. Yeah, like, so I always feel like you need to be constantly learning to prevent yourself from becoming stagnant.
Right.
And the best way to do that is to surround yourself with other creative types, to be around other actors, to see as much acting as possible. So that way you're just constantly learning and constantly surrounding yourself with it. So I think, yeah, you need to be in a constant state of learning to like be the best version of yourself, especially in this profession.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the last thing that you learned from class, or your biggest takeaway from class?
So it was like from March to April, I was taking the master class at Raw. And one of my biggest, I think, weaknesses is allowing myself to be vulnerable, to allow myself to fail, which is, I'm sure is a big problem amongst many actors, is not wanting to look stupid, wanting to, be the best, put the best version of yourself out there, and sometimes that's not always the case, and you have to allow yourself to fail sometimes. So going into that masterclass, my goal was to just allow myself to be vulnerable, and try to put that into the work as much as possible. So the whole premise of the masterclass is, mastering your craft. So it's 6 weeks. You get one scene to work on. You get assigned a scene partner, and you just go through different techniques of preparation, from script analysis to memorization to emotional availability, and building a connection with your scene partner. And me and my scene partner, who you met, her name was Hannah, we did a scene from Revolutionary Road. Now it's a really intense scene. It's at a point, so the basic plot of the movie is, failing marriage. It takes place during the 60s. They basically are falling out of love with each other, and in order to like spice up their marriage, they decide they want to move to Paris. Before they do, the wife, played by Hannah, discovers that she's pregnant. And I also discovered, well, I get offered a promotion at work as well. So there's now these two obstacles in the way of us moving to Paris. So Hannah's character wants to have an abortion because she feels like this is going to get in the way of them moving to Paris and starting their life over, which it will. And I kind of go along with it, but I don't entirely agree. And so our scene begins where I discover that she's bought this little device to give herself a miscarriage. And does shit ever hit the fan at the beginning of the scene? And it was probably the most intense experience I've ever had performing anything. I mean, it was almost like a real fight. Like, you know, people because it was an open class, so people from outside were able to come in and watch it.
Right.
And people were telling me that it was like uncomfortable to watch almost. Like, that's how real it felt. And when I was looking back in it, because I've recorded it, it was intense. It almost like felt like some like real arguments that I'd had in relationships. Like not as violent, obviously, but it was great. And it was like I was just allowing myself to be completely open and vulnerable and just being completely in the moment. And that's something that was always really hard for me to achieve, because like I'm the type of actor who like I'm constantly overthinking every aspect of my performance. I'm trying to, you know, plan everything out so I have everything perfectly mapped out, and like if anything goes, you know, outside of those plans, like my performance goes to complete shit.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that to my core.
Yeah.
Like, oh, didn't hit that mark. Cut. Let's start again.
Yeah, let's start over completely.
Yeah, the amount of self-tapes I've wasted.
Oh my God, like that's my number one issue when it comes to self-tapes. Like trying to stop myself from doing 12, 15 takes of the same thing, when I always end up going for one of the first three.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, without fail. So yeah, just I felt like that scene, and my scene partner Hannah was amazing as well, and her like helping build that connection with me allowed me to be more vulnerable as well. And yeah, it just was an amazing experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wicked. I like that.
Yeah.
That's great. For the feature film that you're in,
Yeah.
what was your role like in the feature film?
Yeah, so it's still in the post-production process. So the story is of a father whose daughter falls into a coma, and his life basically completely falls apart because of it, because of overwhelming medical bills, you know, a drug habit that he develops because of depression and mental health issues, a pending lawsuit against the hospital that's treating her. I play the lawyer who's representing him, who's like a real no-nonsense, complete asshole, who's more interested in winning the case than he is, you know, concerned about his client's well-being.
Right.
And you know, as soon as he sees that, you know, his client may be a bit of a wild card, he kind of cuts him loose. So I'm a real cold-hearted bastard in this movie.
How'd you like that? Does that come easy to you?
It was like second nature, because I'm a real piece of shit in real life.
That is hilarious. Can vouch, not true, but that's hilarious. For roles that are opposite of like your true character,
I mean, it wasn't really opposite.
No, just like dug up some.
I was just like, I'll just be myself here, you know? Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, but for things like that, where it's, you know, kind of like, it's just kind of like, it's fun to do, to like kind of step outside your own skin for a short period of time. And I really try to lean into it as much as possible, because like, as long as you're, you know, a three-dimensional person, there's a part of you that you can access to, you know, bring that character to life. I mean,
100%. Just tap into my road rage.
Exactly. I know. I just have to think about when someone cuts me off in traffic, and I'm like, that's the character
That's
right
the character
there.
right there.
Yeah, just calling everyone a motherfucker, and like, I'm good.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, you just gotta, you know, I like to use a lot of like substitution when it comes to my work. You know, just try to think about situations I've been in where it may emulate what the character is going through in that scene, and then like you just gotta, you know, just try to apply it to every scene from that point. So yeah, it's just, I just try to look at it as like a fun little experiment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And the short film that's making its festival rounds, what is it called? Tell everyone about it.
So it's called What's to Be Shall.
Okay.
It's kind of a weird title, but
Easier to remember when they're weird.
yeah, it is. So I just have really a small part in that. I play like an undercover cop. It's about this guy who's basically like lost this like winning lottery ticket, and he's searching all throughout, like he's kind of like retracing his steps, trying to like find who's taking this ticket from him, and like he runs into my character who, you know, just, you know, now that I come to think of it, this character was a complete asshole as well. So I just
There's a theme.
Yeah, I'm trying to notice a running theme here of me just
hilarious.
being a complete asshole in every role I do. So yeah, so I have a small part. He runs into me. I just read in the riot act because he thinks the guy that I've arrested has his lottery ticket, and we just say, "Get away, go away, bye." And yeah, so they've been submitting it to a bunch of festivals. I got a chance to see a screening of it last November, and it turned out great. Like I was really surprised because I thought I was awful in it, to be honest. But when I saw it, I was like, damn, they have a really good editor, because it's not as bad as I remember. Thank you for editing.
We love our editor. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's wicked. Are you union or non-union?
I'm non-union right now.
Same.
Yeah.
And who's your agent? Before I forget, I always have to ask.
It is DeCaro Talent Management.
Yes, right.
Yes, you used to be represented by them too.
Yeah. She was my first agent.
Yeah.
Took me on.
Yeah,
Woo!
yeah. She's great. She's been very supportive. You know, it's a bit of a dry time right now. Like there's just not much out there right now. But she's been great through this whole time. She signed me last year and has been very supportive.
Nice.
So, like, she's been great.
Wicked. Shout out. I love it. So what roles do you typically see yourself going out for?
So I get a lot of, you know, like professionals, like, you know, lawyers, police officers, you know, security guards, like basically like a lot of roles where you kind of, where the character has a little bit of, I'd say, an intimidating presence.
Okay.
Which I've been told a lot over the years, that people find me like unapproachable and like intimidating, and I'm like, are you sure you're talking about me? I mean,
really? Because
yeah.
I'm nice.
Yeah, I'm a good guy. I'm a big goofball. I'm a big teddy bear.
I
like,
love it.
No, but I get a lot of that. I don't know. I think I just have a resting asshole face, so that's why.
Can relate.
Yeah.
Do you like those roles, or what kind of roles do you have a dream role? Let's start with that. Do you have a dream role?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I do, but I don't know if I'll ever be cast in that type of role.
Stop right there.
Yeah.
Say what it is.
I don't know. I'd really love to play like a romantic lead.
Nice.
something of that nature. Just something where I can, show my sensitive side, and show that I'm not an asshole. I'm really not.
I promise.
I promise I'm not an asshole. Yeah, so I'd love to do like a romantic lead or just like a comedic role, because like I find, at least what casting directors see me as someone who to be put in a serious role. So I'd love to do like comedy or like romance or something of that nature, because I feel like it give me a chance to showcase that I'm a versatile actor. I don't just do one thing, which right now is being a cop or an asshole.
Right?
One of those two
or
things.
An asshole.
Yeah.
No, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Don't say you wouldn't be cast as that. I mean, like, there's how many? Like, you're a bigger guy, but there's how many bigger guys in Hollywood that make their switch over. I mean, they've gone wrestling to acting and then to comedy acting, so like it
You don't see The
happens.
Rock in many romantic lead roles though.
More comedy, feel good movies.
Yeah. You don't see Vin Diesel as the star of a romantic comedy. I'm not really sure.
What do you mean, Fast and Furious? They're all romantic.
Point proven.
1 to 10.
It's all about family.
That's right. I say they should do a Fast and Furious Brampton.
Oh my God, that's what they
And then
absolutely
end it.
should.
That would be the biggest movie ever.
They don't even need to have any sort of budget. Just film the regular drivers on the
Film
road.
410.
Just drive like
Exactly.
absolute fucking maniacs.
Right? Just like, I'm gonna die. That's wicked. What did I want to ask you? There was something I wanted to ask you. What do you find is the hardest part about acting? Like being an actor?
Just one?
Just
one?
We can name a few if you wanted.
Oh, well, first is, I would have to say, is being patient. Because, we all want success and we all want it now. We want it to come immediately, but rarely does it ever, unless you just have a horseshoe up your ass and you're the luckiest person in the world. So that's one of the things that have been having difficulty with ever since I came back within the last couple of years, is trying to be patient, waiting for the right opportunity to come, and trying not to let the seeds of self-doubt plant themselves in my mind, which, you go a few weeks without an audition and you're going to start doubting yourself.
Right.
You're going to be like, am I complete trash? Am I any good at this? Did I make a horrible decision picking this career path? And, I feel like that's a thought process that every actor has had at some point in their life. So, yeah, being patient is probably the most challenging thing for me. And also just trying to feel like I'm, not an imposter. Because, that was, I think, one of the things that stopped me from, that was the catalyst for my long break. Because, after I got out of acting school, I was acting for a few years. But at that time, I was just so self-critical, to the point where I couldn't even watch myself on screen. It was a painful experience watching myself in anything that I had done. I'd have to go like this the entire time to whatever screening I was watching, and it got to the point where it just took all the fun out of acting for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, every performance, I put so much effort and time and so much of myself into, and then to watch the final product and not even be able to enjoy it was just, it was painful. It was really a painful experience. And now that I've come back into it, I feel like I have a much healthier attitude towards, the process and having fun with it. And now I can actually watch myself on screen without wanting to vomit.
Right.
Yeah. So just learning to have fun was probably, one of the biggest challenges for me, especially coming back into it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And so let's go back to you deciding to take a break.
Yeah.
Was that an easy decision for you? Was it kind of, did you throw in the towel and say, I'm done with this for now? Or did you know that it would just be a break and then you'd be back in a bit?
So it was never really like a conscious decision that I made to take a break. It was always like, oh, I'll get back into it in the next few months. Oh, like, give next year, I'll get back to it. Sooner rather than later.
Right.
And it was just more like I just kept delaying getting back into it. I would still like periodically take classes just to, kind of keep my skills from completely atrophying, but it was more just like I was just so wrapped up in so many unhealthy and self-destructive patterns of behavior at the time. Like I was a heavy drinker at that point, like to the I'm not even going to share some of the stories I have of that, but I was just being generally irresponsible and self-destructive, and I just kept telling myself, in no time I'll start auditioning again and like all this. But like before I knew it, 10 years had passed, and I eventually was at a very like low point in my life where I could have gone one of two different ways. I could even go further down that rabbit hole, or I could bring myself up out of it. And luckily I had the wherewithal to bring myself out of it. So yeah, it wasn't really a conscious decision that I had made that, I'm just gonna take a short break and then I'll come back. It was more just, I was just consumed by, depression and alcohol and self-destructive behavior that's, before I knew it, all this time had passed, and I was like, I gotta do it now. It's now or never.
Yeah. Was it like a certain was it a birthday that hit and that you realized, okay, I gotta get it back together? Or was it just one day you woke up and were like, damn?
So it was actually my divorce.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I split from my wife, it was 2 years ago, around the same time I got back into acting. And that was the lowest point for me that I just mentioned, where I was like, man, I was at that point divorced. I was, in a job that I hated. It just, I wasn't drinking as much as I used to, but it still wasn't at a level that was anywhere near healthy or moderate. And it was at that point I was just like, is this really the way that you wanted your life to turn out? When I was just coming out of acting school, I'd imagine it was a little delusional, but I'd imagine I would already like be in the States by now, I would have accepted my third Oscar by now.
Of course.
Naturally.
I know, we all had the same delulu.
Yeah, we're all a little delulu in that sense. And just, I would have had at least, I would have been a working actor at this point already.
Right.
And I just thought to myself, you gotta make a decision now. Are you gonna go for it, or are you just gonna continue wasting away? And I decided I'm just gonna go for it, because You know, I've done many jobs over the past decade or so, and like every single time I just come back to the thing I love, which is acting. And I feel like it's the thing that gives me purpose, that makes me feel fulfilled, and it's what I love, and I can't imagine myself doing anything else.
Nice, wicked.
Yeah.
So what was the first thing that you did when you decided, okay, I gotta get back into this? Did you immediately look for agents or looking for classes, or what was the first step towards the acting?
So the first thing I did was, I was like, I needed to stop drinking. I mean, I still kind of drink now, but like I need to put it away for a little while. I need to get back into shape, because I was very unhealthy at that point. And so I got back in the gym. I lost about 50 pounds. I started like just applying to, you know, auditions on Mandy, and just going that route just to get practice again. I started taking other classes. I took classes with Michael Caruana, Bongo Productions. He's one of my acting teachers from Humber College. So
Nice.
Got a little discount. And yeah, I just did that to just kind of get the rust off. And my plan was to originally, you know, just try to build up my portfolio, just do a whole bunch of stuff to build up a demo reel, so I can like start, you know, I can have a full package ready to start sending out to agents.
Right.
But, you know, it's like that John Lennon quote, you know, life is what happens when you make your plans. I was planning at the end of the year to like start applying to agents, but my buddy who's with Alona was talking to her about me, and she's like, oh yeah, just send me his headshot, let me see him. And so he actually set up an interview with me.
Nice.
And then he called me on the phone. He's like, yeah, so I told my agent about you, and she wants to meet you. I'm like, why did you do that? I am not ready.
That's hilarious.
I was actually mad at him because he did that.
That's so funny.
Yeah, because
Like, change of plans.
I was like, dude, I am not ready. I have nothing to show her. I'd done like one short film at that point, and and he's like, I'm sorry, but you know, I got really excited and I thought you should talk to her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
what a good friend. Funny enough, that's how I got Alona too. Is the
really?
friend that was on her roster. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How did she set that up? She just like
Yeah,
recommended
it
you?
was just, I mean, it was when she was first starting out too,
Yeah.
so she needed more people, and so
She was with Bean and it was
yeah, it was Bean
right?
and Co at the
Yeah.
time, yeah. And so I don't even know how it really came to be. But yeah, she had mentioned me, and then we set up a meeting and went from there, kind of thing.
Yeah. So it was very, very similar to that. My friend talked me up to her, and I met with her. Me and her had a great conversation. We talked for about an hour, and she pretty much like signed me on the spot.
Nice.
Which is kind of a rarity with agents, because you know most of them want to at least see you like audition, or at least want to see some film on you.
Right.
But like, I don't know, I feel like we made a good connection, and she saw like how serious I was, how passionate I was about doing this. You know, the fact that I told her I will do anything, like literally anything and everything you send my way, I will do. Voice auditions, commercials, film, TV, whatever. You send it to me, I'm gonna do it. And I guarantee it's gonna be, I'm gonna put my best foot forward every single time.
Nice.
So, you know, I bullshitted her into believing that.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. That was such a good pitch. I was there. You sold me too. That's hilarious.
No, but in seriousness, yeah, she saw I was 100% serious and dedicated to this. So
And going back to the training at Humber of how to be professional and stuff like that, those are very important things as an actor to be. Like if you're an agent sending out people, you want them to be serious, be on time, taking things, and putting their best foot forward because you're representing them, they're representing you,
Exactly. You're basically representing everyone who put their reputation at stake, like to get you into the room.
Yeah.
Every time you're like face to face with casting directors, with directors on set, everything. You're a representation of everyone who believed in you to get you to that spot. So you have to, put on your best face and make sure you're a pro when you're on set.
Not be perfect.
No.
But be pro.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe a little perfect, but
maybe a little perfect. A little bit.
Just a little bit.
A healthy sprinkle of perfection.
Just a little sprinkle of perfection. Yeah. My therapist tells me I'm a perfectionist, but I'm like, you're wrong. I just like to be good at everything.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm just naturally really good. And when I'm not, I lose my shit. It's fine. That's me anyway.
Exactly.
That's hilarious. So yeah, you got an agent, you got back into it, you did all the Mandy stuff. Do you have a demo reel now? Because I was going to ask, did you ever get that footage back? Because I never did.
See, that's one thing that is so frustrating as well, which goes back to your question earlier. One of the toughest things about being an actor is trying to get a hold of footage that you've done.
Right.
Last year, over the past 2 years, I've done like maybe 6 projects, and I have footage for one of them.
That's nuts. Yeah, get on this, people.
Yeah. One thing you should ask at the beginning of every shoot is, when can I get my footage?
Yeah.
So it's so challenging because the post-production process, it can be long and arduous, depending on how big the project is.
Yeah.
Like for the feature film, I shot that a year ago, literally almost a year to the day.
Yeah.
And it's still in post-production. I think they're doing like color correction and stuff still right now.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
It's color grading. It's being scored. It's shut up. Just give me my footage. I asked for it raw. I was like, just give it to me, like just my scene.
I don't need it color graded.
I'm not gonna post it on social media. I'm not gonna share it and be like, spoiler alert, look at this scene. I need it for a demo reel. I probably need like 10 seconds of it. Like that's...
Yeah. You literally need about 10 to 15 seconds of each clip.
Yeah.
And that's about it. So just give it to me however you got it. Just give it to me.
Right.
So I only have film footage from one project, and that was from like a student film I did like 2 months ago. Nice. They got it to me within 4 days. I was like,
wicked.
Good job, guys.
That's perfect.
So I just need to have something to actually show for all the work that I've been doing.
I know, right? Yeah.
I mean, there's one project, it's supposed to be a TV show that I have no idea what's happening with it. There's like no trace of it on IMDb. None of the other people I've worked with on it have any idea what's happening with it. So I don't know what's happening with that either. So yeah.
So sometimes it just goes out into the void.
Yeah, never to be seen again. It exists somewhere on someone's hard drive, but I'll never see it.
It will never see the light of day. Yeah, it's so funny how that happens.
Yeah.
So funny. But yeah, that is a frustrating part of being an actor for sure. You were just a finalist in the Monologue Slam. Congratulations.
Thank you. So where we first met as well.
Yes,
at the Monologue
absolutely.
Slam.
So much fun. Don't you love those events?
Oh yeah, they're a lot of fun. Like I've been to the last and performed in the last 3. So it's always good. One of my favorite things is always to watch actors perform. From the good to the bad, you can learn a lot just by watching. So
nice.
Yeah, it's always so much fun to go to.
Yeah, I love it so much. So how did you feel that it went when you performed in the last one?
It was good. So I was the last one to go on.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so it was...
Did you prefer it like that, or do you like to go first and get it done?
So normally I like to go like not first, but somewhere closer to one of the first.
Me too.
Just to like get it out of the way and
breathe.
Yeah, exactly. So I can start breathing again, and I don't feel like I'm gonna,
your heart's gonna leave
yeah,
your body.
Exactly. Just to get rid of that nauseous feeling I have before I perform.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I know, once you hit the stage, it's like, oh, okay, here we go. But it's just the lead up to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Always.
And it was just, I basically had to wait for an hour to perform because I was like the very last one. So that's probably one thing I would have changed from the experience. But other than that, it was good. Like before like 2 performers previous to me, I was like, okay, I need to get my energy back up because I felt like I was almost like starting to get a bit of an adrenaline dump because like, I was ready to go right at the beginning of the hour, and by the time it was almost time for me to go up, I was like, okay, I feel like I need to fall asleep right now.
Right?
I feel like I need a nap.
My nerves have been on fire for an hour straight. They're
exactly.
tired.
Yeah, I'm exhausted at that point. I haven't even been on stage yet.
Yeah.
So I got up, I went out into the hallway, and I was like just pacing back and forth and just kind of like running in place and just doing some jumping jacks and just trying to get my heart rate back up so I could like go back and like have a lot of energy when I'm on stage. So I did a piece from Cool Hand Luke. It's a movie from the 60s starring Paul Newman. It's about this guy who gets sent to like a chain gang prison in the southern United States, and he goes from basically being like an outcast in the prison camp to everyone looks up to him, and he basically like almost runs the prison camp, but like not by being like a violent criminal or anything, but just by being himself and being the outsider that he is. And he constantly escapes, and the prison guards are just constantly trying to break his spirit and like make him fall in line with their rules, but he never does. And the monologue that I did was towards the end of the movie where he breaks out for the final time, and he's been on the run for like days on end, and he finally settles down at like this abandoned church, and he doesn't believe in God, but like at this point he's just so tired and beat down that he just stops and like kind of has like a conversation with God, just like asking him, why am I like this? Why did you make me like this? What do I do? What do I do now? Which is, kind of,
So I feel like all actors can relate to that feeling. Like, why did you make me like this? Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's something that I could relate to a lot, and it's something that I've like kind of had in my back pocket ever since I went to Humber. So it's a piece that I know really well.
Nice.
So when I got on stage, all the nerves went away, and I was just like, I just went into my thing right away, and the judges gave me like such like awesome feedback, really kind, and like I was, I guess I kind of believed my own hype. I thought I was gonna make it through to the next round, but no, I didn't. But the people who did, they put on such good performances that like, I couldn't be too mad at it. I was a little mad, I'll be honest.
Always.
Because I'm like also
it's a normal thing. Yeah.
I'm a very competitive person as well. So I was like, oh, I really wanted to be there, but.
At least you thought you were going to be in the top 3. I've done the monologue, so I've been like, yeah I'm not going to make it. So
how long ago did you do it?
It was like pre-pandemic.
Oh, okay.
It was one of their TIFF event ones.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be great.
Yeah.
Pew! And I was like, never mind.
What was the piece that you did?
Oh, I don't even remember for that one. Yeah, I don't remember. I've done it a couple times, but I think I've done one as like a scene slam, and I've done one as a monologue slam, maybe 2 as a monologue slam.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember the piece. The only one I remember doing was the one where it was like a lyrics to a monologue.
Oh, okay.
So you change a song and you make it you pick a song and you make it a monologue.
Oh, okay.
That one was fun. But yeah, I don't remember which one I was like, yeah, you know what? It wasn't even that I did like horribly bad, but I sat there and watched the other contestants and went, yeah, this makes sense. Like it makes sense that they got it. That was really good. So yeah. But
yeah, the lineup that I was a part of was actually one of the strongest that I'd seen.
Nice.
In the last few that I've been to.
Wicked.
Because there are strong performers, there are weak performers. Sometimes nerves get in the way of your performance when you get up there. Sometimes you're not prepared for how much you need to project when you're up there as well. But from top to bottom, everyone that was there was strong. I mean, I can't think of any performances that were really weak. Everyone was good in their own right. So I couldn't really be too mad that I didn't make it. Well, that's a lie. I was very mad. I'm still bitter about it now. But everyone was good. Everyone was good.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was a great experience. I'm definitely going to be doing it again.
Nice.
Because I want that championship belt. I will not stop.
There's the competitive side.
I will not stop until I put that belt around my waist.
Nice. I like it.
So yeah, I'm definitely going to do it again. It was a great experience, and it was nice to get up on stage and perform in front of people again.
Yeah.
Because it's been such a long time since I've done any sort of theater work.
Yeah.
So
nice.
it was great.
Wicked. Well, I like to finish up this podcast with the fast 5 questions.
Okay.
We're usually
I'm ready.
not fast.
I'm ready.
What is your favorite beverage?
Favorite coffee.
Coffee?
I would die without it. I am a caffeine addict.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've replaced my other bad addictions with caffeine, so
fair enough.
So yeah, it's coffee.
Fair trade.
Yeah.
What's your favorite genre to watch?
Ooh. Comedy.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I love watching a good drama or thriller or anything like that, but I much prefer watching something that's going to make me laugh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What is 3 things that you have to bring on set?
3 things I have to bring on set.
Yeah. Some people have particular things, which is why I always like to find out so that I can also bring it to set.
Food.
Snacks.
I need some snacks because the snacks that are on set sometimes are usually not good.
Fair.
Usually dollar store snacks that especially when you're non-union.
Yeah, that's true.
It's never great craft service.
Right.
Food, coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. And because usually just my lines with me to go over when there's a break, because I'm always I'm never 100% confident that I'm gonna have my lines down, so I always got to bring my sides with me,
right?
Just to go over in between scenes.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's nothing that I would say I need to bring every single time.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
And we're running out of time, so I'm just gonna ask you one last question.
Yeah.
What is something that you would tell your younger self?
Don't be such a fuck up.
Get your shit together.
Get your shit together. Get your head out of your ass.
That's
Stop.
hilarious.
In all seriousness, no. I would tell my younger self to be humble. Because, coming out of acting school, I got a lot of praise from my teachers, from my peers, from possible agents and casting directors that I met at school. So I had kind of an overinflated ego, I would say.
Right.
So, and because of that, I wasn't always the most receptive to criticism and feedback and things of that nature. And looking back at it now, and I thought I was a lot better than I was, which is
with being young.
Yeah, Yeah, with being young,
Same.
that's a natural thing that comes along with being young, overconfidence.
Right.
So I would just tell myself, put your ego to the side. Just try to work as much as possible. Don't say no to any opportunity that comes your way. And, treat every experience with humility and grace.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'd tell my younger
it.
self. And yeah,
I
don't be a dickhead.
Don't be
a dickhead. Yeah.
You'll be cast as an asshole enough.
Yeah, everyone thinks you're an asshole already.
It's hilarious. Well, thank you so much for taking the time and being a guest on my podcast. I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And anytime you want to come back on, you got more stuff to promote, or you've made it to the States and you're A-lister, don't forget about us, all right?
You'll be the first person off my list of interviews to do.
Yes. Perfect.
When I get my first Oscar.
Beautiful.
We'll see if that ever happens.
Coming soon, 2026. Fantastic. Well, thanks again so much.
Thanks, Allison.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you related. I hope you learned something. Please check us out in the next interview. And if you like this, be sure to like, subscribe. Please, for the love of God, subscribe. And share this with another creator that you have in your life. And if you'd like to donate and help us keep this podcast going, you can head to my website, AllisonMullings.com. There's a place to donate there. Thanks so much, and see you in the next interview.